Just because parents can't parent doesn't mean we should all have to suffer the consequences. Hey guys, it's Dan and welcome back to another video. Really quickly before we get started, I do want to just apologize for being gone for so long. I actually ended up getting really sick, and then after I started feeling better, I lost my voice for just over a week. So this is the first time I'm actually able to kind of talk and really be able to record something, because I literally could get 3 words out and then wasn't able to make any noise out of my vocal cords. So we're doing a lot better now, but I kind of missed the initial wave of this, but it's something I really wanted to talk about. And that is how now, especially in the UK and eventually here in the States, different companies like YouTube, Spotify, and so on are going to be requiring you to upload copies of your ID if they don't believe that you are of a sufficient age to be viewing content, listening to music, or anything in between. And that is a real problem, at least in my opinion. They are trying to push this under the guise of it's some way to protect children and keeping them from being able to view explicit content, listen to explicit music, see things that they shouldn't be seeing, and inevitably end up becoming involved in things that they shouldn't be, which on the surface sounds like a really good idea, because there are a lot of kids that are being exposed to some of these explicit things and they shouldn't be. I know for me, at least, I was born in 2000, so I knew what life was like really before the internet, at least a little bit, and then my entire childhood and adult life has been shaped by the internet and access to it, and seeing a lot of things that I shouldn't. I remember lots of times growing up, my friends would show me different videos from like Live Leak and whatnot, like the one man, one jar type videos. So I know what it's like to have completely unrestricted access to the internet, and it can really be a problem. I know there's a lot of people that I know that have fallen for some indoctrination through the internet and have really had some major problems when it comes to being exposed to certain information and then diving full into it without really understanding the consequences of what they're doing. So I understand the initial thought process to this new law, this new rule of wanting people to be of age to view that content. But on the flip side, it shouldn't be these companies' responsibility, and it shouldn't affect us that are of age in order to view this content. It should be something that is more geared towards holding the parents accountable and liable for what their children is viewing. Now, I know that there's a lot of parents that don't pay attention to what their kids watch and what they do. It's a problem with one of the most recent millennial and Gen Z generations, is they don't really care a whole lot about being a parent, I've noticed, which is really sad. Being a parent is one of the greatest gifts and greatest responsibilities that you can have as a person, as a mother, as a father. And many of these parents seem to just kind of be throwing that responsibility away, whether it's because they didn't want to have kids, or they don't really know what they're doing, or they don't want to put in the effort. And it is disappointing, but I think that there has been a shift with a lot of the more younger Gen Zs, younger millennials, where they were like me and they did grow up with unrestricted access to the internet, and they saw the problems that it was having. They're doing a little bit better. I can't say that right now it's great and it's exactly what we want, because certain rules like this new age verification one wouldn't be passed, but I do think that they are taking a step in the right direction, and I think it should be on the parents to moderate and see what their child is viewing. It shouldn't be these companies' responsibilities. When this all came out, it was right after that whole T app thing got leaked, where thousands, tens of thousands of women's IDs got leaked on the internet because they used ID verification to show that they were a woman, that they were real, and be able to have access to this app. And unfortunately, that's something that will happen when this new rule gets implemented to places like YouTube and Spotify and much more. You are going to be seeing a lot of data breaches. Unfortunately, like I've mentioned in several videos, I do work in a financial institution and I have seen lots and lots of fraud, and most of it stems from giving personal information to a website that has either been compromised or is a duplicate made to look like the original website, like Amazon. And these individuals' information gets leaked onto the internet or to somebody that shouldn't have it in general. And then they proceed to use that information to spend all their money, open credit cards, do all of these things in that individual's name and ruin them financially. And it's something that will happen. It's not if, it's when this will happen to something like Spotify or YouTube, where somebody gets upset or they find a loophole and everybody's information is leaked. Apologies if you can hear some dogs barking in the background. I'm not at home right now, so I can't really mediate what noises will be heard. But yeah, these companies will inevitably have some sort of a data breach, whether it's for a small percentage of its users or everyone. It's bound to happen. And unfortunately, if you give your ID stuff to companies like this, you are putting yourself at much greater risk to being compromised than if you weren't. I know for me, I fully intend to not share my ID for anything that is requesting age verification. I have created my accounts. It does use my actual date of birth. It doesn't give any more information than that. But if they want to try and have me validate it, I will simply stop using that program. If Spotify asks me to do it, I'll switch to going over to Apple Music or going honestly back to CDs, cassettes, USB drives with music on it. And I will 100% just completely stop using that service. And I think that's what a vast majority of us need to do. Whether that will happen or not, I'm not sure. It does seem like a lot of people are kind of leaning that way. Actions do speak louder than words, and we'll just kind of have to see what everyone ends up doing, whether they comply or they deny it. I think if everyone was to deny it, they would backtrack on it and they wouldn't make it a thing, as well as if we keep talking about it and bringing up the fact that, hey, this is the parents' responsibility. They're the ones that are liable for this. It's not you, and you shouldn't be interfering with my business. I am fully capable of making my own decisions, and I don't have anything to prove to you. And that's where I'm at. And if YouTube decides to do it and I'm one of the people that they strike with it, I unfortunately will just stop uploading. I'll find another service to upload to and create content with. And if that's just not an option, unfortunately, I will just stop creating content. I'm not, unfortunately, willing to risk my security, my information for a program, a company. I really do love creating content, but it's not something I'm willing to risk my livelihood and my stability on because they feel like they know better. Unfortunately, that's just not the case. But I'd really love to know your guys' thoughts and opinions on this matter. I'd love to know kind of what you guys think, especially those of you that are over in our sister country across the pond in the UK. I'd love to know kind of how these things are working out for you. I hear that you guys have got a lot of problems going on right now, but I'm genuinely curious to know kind of what is happening and how you guys are responding to those age verification things, because I know that it has been implemented rather widely across the United Kingdom. So leave me some feedback and some thoughts and some comments and opinions down in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear from you guys, and I'm hoping to get back to making some more content here soon. I think you guys have probably heard how my voice has been kind of failing me in this video, which is terrible, but it is doing a little bit better. It's a lot better than it was. So yeah, guys, I appreciate any of you that have taken the time to watch this video, and I will catch you in the next one. See ya.